This video production is intended for the novice hiker. There are several technical routes to the summit, but this presentation is clearly for the first timer. The production will show you everything you need to do to summit Mount Adams successfully your first time. This presentation is intended for the hiker that is in reasonable physical condition. Hiking and mountaineering are inherently risky sports. There is a risk to both life and health if you attempt this climb. One of our climbers went directly to the emergency room following our 2002 summit. 2 weeks after our summit, a female hiker was injured by a loose boulder. She was flown off the mountain by life flight and hospitalized for over a year. Ironically, those in our climbing party who stuck to the plan and stayed on the trails have suffered no injuries. We've been climbing Mount Adams since July 2001. We usually hike Mount Adams the third Friday of August and camp out at least one, if not both, Friday and Saturday night, with a return on Sunday morning. We love the hike and look forward to it each summer. This movie is a collection of hundreds of digital still pictures and video clips from several summits. We'll be there in August, camping out high on Lunch Counter. Hope to see you there! The Southern Spur route is the most popular hiking route on Mount Adams. It is suitable for novice climbers and does not require ropes, although ice axes and crampons should be required. These two important items can be rented at your favorite outdoor store. The climb is 14 miles round trip with 6,700 foot elevation gain. The trailhead is 100 miles from Portland, and it takes about 3 hours of driving time from Portland International Airport to get to Cold Creek Campground. Lewis and Clark first sighted Mount Adams on April 2, 1806, and it was named after President Adams around 1843. The name was firmly established in 1853 when the Pacific Railroad expedition charted the mountain as Mount Adams. While David Douglas was rumored to have climbed Adams in 1825, the first accepted ascent was in 1854 via the North Ridge route. The party probably consisted of 3 men who were members of a military work party. Mount Adams is one of the largest volcanoes in the Cascade Range. Mount Adams is 12,276 feet high and is the second highest peak in Washington. It's located 45 miles south of Mount Rainier, the highest peak in Washington, at 14,410 feet, and just north of Mount Hood, 11,273 feet, the highest peak in Oregon. Adams dominates Skamania, Yakima, Klickitat, and Lewis counties. Although Adams has been less active than its neighbors St. Helens, Rainier, and Hood, it will assuredly erupt again. Future eruptions will probably occur from the vents on the summit and upper flanks of Mount Adams. Large landslides and lahars probably pose the most destructive far-reaching hazard of the mountain. Adams is an ancient, inactive volcano. Its snow-capped cone is moderately eroded. The eastern and western slopes of the mountain are steeper than the northern and southern routes. The most popular climbing route ascends the mountain on the southern slope. The position of Mount Adams on the eastern side of the Cascades shelters it from the extremely heavy rainfall. This combination, with the ease of access, make it a very popular climb. We do it every year between July 15th and August 25th. A lookout cabin was built on the summit in 1921 and manned for several years. In 1929, a sulfur claim was staked on the summit and a trail constructed. At the height of activity in 1931, some 168 pack trains reached the summit. The Glacial Mining Company had activity on the mountain until 1937. Traces of the trail still exist. While the mountain is not as high as Mount Rainier, its massive volcanic peak has about the same volume as Adams, covering 270 square miles. The volcano is marked by dozens of glaciers. In the high Cascades, Mount Adams is second in eruptive volume only to Mount Shasta in Northern California, and it far surpasses its neighbor Mount Rainier. Nearly the entire cone above 2,300 meters in elevation was constructed during the latest active time, probably between 10 and 20,000 years ago. During the past 10,000 years, the upper slopes of Mount Adams have produced several notable debris avalanches. In 1921, around 4 million cubic meters of rock fell from Avalanche Glacier on the southwest flank of the volcano, traveled down 4 miles to Salt Creek Valley. Debris avalanches of much larger size have also occurred on Mount Adams. An avalanche of roughly 90 million cubic yards of debris initiated the largest of these lahars about 6,000 years ago. Most recently, October 20th, 1997, a large mass of rock fell from the Castle, a prominent rock formation east of the summit of Mount Adams. This avalanche was recorded on many seismographic stations all over the Pacific Northwest. The total time duration of the motion for this avalanche is estimated to be about 6 minutes based on the recordings from the closest seismograph station. Start at Portland International Airport. Take 205 south to I-84, east to Hood River. It's about an hour's drive. Take exit 64, turn left at the stop. Cross over the bridge into Washington to White Salmon. At the end of the bridge, turn left on Highway 14 west. In approximately a mile and a half, turn right on alternate 141. Go approximately 2 miles up the hill and turn left at the stop on Highway 141 to Trout Lake. In 19 miles, just as you enter Trout Lake, the road will split. You need to go left approximately a mile to the Mount Adams Ranger Station in Trout Lake. You need to sign the climber's register, pay for permits, obtain your Northwest Forest Pass for parking unless you already have one, and pick up some more information and weather. If open, the gas station and general store are the last chance for groceries or supplies. Return to the intersection. You're going to want to turn left. Look for Road 80 at the gas station and the restaurant. Head towards Mount Adams Recreational Area and then follow the signs to Road 80. Then to 8040. The final stretch of the road turns into Road 500 up to Coal Creek Campground, where the southern spur route of Mount Adams commences. The road gets rough past Morrison Creek Campground. Potholes, rocks, roots, and other obstacles await you on the narrow, winding, one-lane road to the campground. Cars make the trip, but you'll probably bottom out somewhere along the last couple miles. And always remember, this is a one-lane road going in two directions. If you meet another car, you need to be able to pull off to pass. Travel slowly and be aware until you hit the campground. At Cold Creek Campground, pack up all your gear and head to the trailhead. The trailhead is around 5,600 feet in elevation, which seems high until you realize that your destination is 12,276 feet. When you pass over a stream and see cairns on the trail, know that this is an excellent opportunity to fill your water bottles. At about 6,200 feet, you should hit snow and pass out of the timberline. The trail seems to end at the base of Crescent Glacier. You have two options. Option 1, straight up the rock face. And option 2, traverse across Crescent Glacier. Whereas in the past years, we've taken option 2, our next trip will ascend option 1, foregoing the crampons for another mile or so. At this point, the mountain offers tremendous views of Mount Hood, Jefferson, and Mount St. Helens, as well as the Indian Heaven wilderness and valleys and peaks. Near the top of the glacier, a rocky ridge with pre-built rock walls to block the glacial wind come into view. At this point, at 9,000 feet, you're entering the area we call Lunch Counter. Continue to Upper Lunch Counter around 9,500 feet, an area known for its good campsites and beautiful sunsets. The wind will come up around 5:30, at least it has every time we've gone up. At the top of Lunch Counter, the wind shelters run out, but by then you'll have passed many dozens of shelters. Remember to add some rocks to your shelter or make repairs as needed. This is how they came to be built, so do your part, add some rocks. Lunch Counter before sunset is your last chance for water for the next day. We've always found running water at Lunch Counter, don't forget. When you wake up, everything will be frozen and you'll be eating snow if you forget to fill your containers. Following a great dinner, we check all of our gear and ready our summit packs for the next day's climb. Remember to wake up in the middle of the night, go outside of the tent and look up at the stars. You won't be disappointed. I have never seen more stars out anywhere I've traveled. Wake up should be around 5 a.m. After breakfast, departure from Lunch Counter should be around 6 a.m. You should have a minimum of a half gallon of water. I would even suggest 3 liters for this leg of the hike. The climb is long and across mostly frozen snow. Move at a comfortable and steady pace. This route steepens dramatically at about 9,700 feet. It levels out at 11,657 feet, what we call the false summit. You are approaching lunch counter. That's a good place for food and drink, photos, rest, etc. Many people leave excess gear here and pick it up on the return. Here, you'll want to gear up with windproof clothes and prepare for cold weather and high winds. Note, at this point, look at Mount Hood. Mount Hood is the highest point in Oregon, 11,237 feet, and you are higher than Mount Hood. Then you cross a relatively level area and make the final push up to 12,276 feet to the summit. For many reasons, you should summit about noon. You made it, you're on the top, you're there. The traditional celebration usually includes novelty phone calls, photos, and pats on the back. We usually walk around a bit and freeze your face off. The phone calls we've made successfully have been using Verizon and AT&T cellular phones. Your hike back to the falls summit is fairly rapid. After the falls summit, you're able to glissade or skate through the scree for most of the way back to the camp. You could be back to high lunch counter about 2 o'clock. Remember to refill your water containers before you get back to the camp. Once back to camp, we usually have a snack and relax until dinner. Remember the night sky, and the Milky Way, and the galaxy. The next morning, after a great breakfast, break camp and head back to our vehicles. Starting around 8 a.m., you should reach Cold Creek Campground by noon. We usually stop for food in Hood River and get back to Portland in early afternoon.